I saw an emerald green scarab beetle, large as a fist, in a house that had debris and foliage strewn across the floor as if from the aftermath of a stormy night. I was helping sweep up when I saw the scarab. Its armor was glossy with a metallic finish, and its trim was golden under the wings and around the sides. I opened the door so that it could escape and helped usher it outside. It started flying around, and I offered my hand out. It landed on my palm, and I felt its pressure, the weight of its body and the texture of its legs pressing against my skin. It took off and buzzed around unceremoniously. The scarab seemed frantic, and I noticed it had two sets of wings fluttering uncontrolled. It would fly back and forth, circle around, up and down. It landed on my hand several times. It never bit, but it seemed aggressively shuffling its legs as its wings continued to flutter as if it were trying to fly through my hand. I felt pinching from this process, but it was unpainful. The large green beetle increased its pace and panic. I wanted to see what was wrong with it, as it was clearly distressed, but knowing there was little I would likely be able to do for it. Its flight became more unbridled, hitting walls repeatedly, colliding into stuff around the yard and then back to my hand. At one point, as it was flying toward me, I saw its body had a skull superimposed over it, like an ethereal icon spelling its impending doom. The intensity of how unnerved the beetle was could be felt by its wing flaps and heard in its chittering. I wanted again to have it land on my hand so I could hold it still and try to find the source of its insanity. Shortly after the last time it did land on my outstretched palm, it flew mid-air and began to unfurl, its body unraveling, as if it were comprised of sections that began to peel and bend around itself, a strip of its elytra, thorax, and abdomen unwinding all at once. When this process, which only took a few moments, was finished, it remained hovering in the air about eye level. The scarab looked like one of the depictions of the Ophanim angels, a series of rings interlocked with its two sets of wings. Its emerald green body and gold trim were distinct, but gone was the scarab form. The beetle remained suspended and unmoving. And then it slowly dissolved downwards, not falling, but descending at a drag pace. The motion appeared separate from everything else, like it had its own rules for being. Finally, it had lowered to the ground completely, where the beetle kind of scattered apart into a small pile. Its structure unbound. What was left was a corpse of gears, rings, bolts, and cogs, an assortment of mechanical parts. And when trying to get a closer look at the machine skeleton of this strange scarab, the view changed, a filter or some manipulation of its own perception altering what could be seen and recorded. The color had drained into just the black and white levels, along with the sort of style of a Sobel painting, only without the abstract shapes, just these varied pieces of metal and copper and iron parts. I had felt the beetle in my hand. It had been living, organic. But the scarab, at the end of its life, had unangeled. And then the dream was over.